Welcome back, everybody, to Kleschka Picks week number 8. Let's get started with the Thursday game, Vikings and Redskins. You know what the Redskins did last week? Absolutely nothing. A big fat 0 on the scoreboard. They played the 49ers. The Vikings, they won against the Lions. They looked good. Kirk Cousins has been performing very well. Adam Thielen was injured. Not sure if he will be back for this week as I am filming this. Then you got Stephon Diggs, who can step up during that absence if needed. Kyle Rudolph is a solid tight end. And with everybody performing, everybody clicking, the Vikings are looking good. And Dalvin Cook is performing well because of all this. And they're just having fun right now. And really, any team that plays the Redskins, I'm most likely going to say they will beat them. So, I'll make it quick and easy right here. Just rip off the Band-Aid for the Redskins. I think the Vikings will beat the Redskins 30-7. Seahawks and Falcons. It's my favorite team versus Art's favorite team. We actually have a friendly bet going on. Keep an eye out for that on Instagram after the game is over. Maybe like a day later or something. We'll see. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it will happen. We got a bet going on, so you can follow both of us on Instagram and you will see who won or lost that bet. You can also find out by who wins or loses between the Seahawks and Falcons. The Seahawks last week, we lost to the Ravens. That run game, Lamar Jackson, dude, I had a feeling with him running all over the place that it was different than we were used to in these first couple weeks, and it's something the Seahawks hadn't seen in a while. So I felt like it was going to be a difficult game for us, and it was a difficult game for us, and obviously it was because we lost. And then you got the Falcons, where Matt Ryan was injured last week. He was taken out in the game against the Rams. He did not return. I don't know if he'll be returning this week, but the Falcons just have not looked good all season. Even with all their weapons, it has been tough for them to play good football, so I think the Seahawks will win 24-16. Bears and Chargers. Bears played the Saints last week, and their offense tried to keep up, but the Saints, their offense obviously was better. Their defense clearly was not good enough to stop them that week. So, I don't know. The Bears defense that just is on its highest of highs, just being the best they can, and then they have games like this where they just fluke, and then the offense can't really keep up because the defense wasn't on point. So if the defense isn't on point, they don't have a strong enough offense to carry them over the defense playing badly. And then you got the Chargers, who lost on the 1-yard line. Melvin Gordon fumbled, and the Titans picked it up and won the football game. So that's how it went for the Chargers last week. I think this week the Bears defense will return. The Chargers have been playing poor football of late, so I think this is going to be a good shot for the defense to rebound, and I think the offense can keep up enough to get past the Chargers and their struggles, so I think the Bears will win 20-17. Giants and Lions. Giants lost to the Cardinals. Lions lost to the Vikings. Okay. The Giants, Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes. He's been performing pretty well so far in the NFL. And they got a veteran on the other side with Matthew Stafford, who was trying his best to keep up with the Vikings. But I think the Giants are going to win this game. The Giants just have better weapons, in my opinion. The Lions just lost Kerryon Johnson. Then you got Saquon Barkley, who just returned last week for the Giants. Danny Dimes is performing, pretty well. He's performing pretty good. So I think with his steady play, and he's looking like he's going to get Ingram back and Sterling Shepard. Then you got Saquon that I already mentioned. I think this is a good Giants team, and I think they will beat the Lions 26-20. Jets and Jaguars. Jaguars last week, they played the Bengals, who do not have a win. So pretty easy one there for Jacksonville. And then you got the Jets, who are on a bye week. Psych, they played, but they certainly did not show up. The Patriots were all over the Jets, offensively, defensively. Sony Michel had a great game, which also made me lose in fantasy. So thanks a lot, Sony Michel, and the Patriots defense. Both made me lose in fantasy. I needed Tom Brady and Julian Edelman to play good, but my opponent had the Patriots defense and Sony Michel, and it was literally 2 Patriots against 2 Patriots, and those 2 won. So, yeah, thanks a lot. Makes me even more angry at the Patriots. And you put these 2 teams together, not the Patriots, the Jets and the Jaguars. I don't know. Sam Darnold probably played the worst game of his career last week. I could say this will be a rebound week. He could definitely outperform himself in any way compared to last week. But you got Minshew Mania over there in Jacksonville. Leonard Fournette has been a solid running back this season. So I'm going to go with the Jaguars, and I think they are going to win 23-17. I see the struggles continuing for the Jets. I don't I don't think he'll play worse than he did last week for Sam Darnold, but I don't think it's going to be like lighting the world on fire. So yeah, Jaguars 23-17. Rams and Bengals. Bengals don't have a win. I just mentioned they lost last week. And then you got the Rams who beat the Falcons, where Cisco and Art made a bet over that. Cisco's a Rams fan. Art is a Falcons fan. Art is always out there for friendly bets. So your favorite team's on the line, then he'll throw you a friendly bet if you're friends with him. But you got the Rams and the Bengals right now. With the Bengals being winless in their struggles, Andy Dalton is definitely coming towards the end of his career. He is not going to be carrying the Bengals anywhere far to this point because he's not been an elite quarterback this season especially. This team is just looking to play their best game every game and at least get one win. They just are playing for themselves, I feel like, because this far in, is it a team effort anymore? I don't know. The Rams, they recently acquired Jalen Ramsey last week, so that is a huge addition to their defense. Their defense played very well last week, and their offense stepped it up too. So I think this team can definitely turn it around. They have the potential. Todd Gurley looked good last week, and you just got the whole team clicking, and it's looking like they are going to be doing positive things, and they got a great opportunity to continue boosting their confidence against the Bengals. So I think the Rams will win 27-13. Buccaneers and Titans. Buccaneers were on a bye week last week, for real. They were on a bye week. And the Titans, they got that victory. They got the fumble recovery at the 1-yard line to beat the Chargers. That is a very, very lucky play to happen for them right there. The Buccaneers, they have had high highs this season, like when they beat the Rams, and they've had the lowest of lows when they played in London, especially Jameis Winston. I don't know. The Buccaneers are hard to predict. The Titans went with a QB change. No more Mariota. He's not hurt. He's just not playing well enough for the Titans to believe in him. So they put in Ryan Tannehill, and that worked out. They got him a victory. He played solid. So I think that'll continue. I'm not talking to you. My watch thinks I'm talking to it. I'm not talking to you. But yeah, I think the Titans are looking solid with that quarterback change. It really helped out the team, and I think it's going to help them out in this game, especially against a struggling Buccaneers team. So I think the Titans will beat the Buccaneers 24-20. Eagles and Bills. Eagles played very poorly last week against the Cowboys. That was definitely Dallas's game all the way. Really, it was just a struggle for the Eagles. I didn't see that game. I was at Horror Nights, so I didn't get to see a lot of what happened. I didn't really have an eye test for this game. But the Bills, they played the Dolphins, and really anybody that plays the Dolphins is going to play very well, just like the Bills did. So it was a walk in the park for them. The Bills defense is very good this year, and it's performing very well. The Eagles are struggling mightily. So against a good defense, I don't think this is the time that the Eagles are going to turn it around and start playing good all of a sudden. I think the Bills will hold the Eagles to their struggles, and I think they will beat them 20-17. Broncos and Colts. Broncos got demolished by the Chiefs last week, and then you got the Colts, who surprisingly beat the Texans. The Colts are a surprising team this year. I think a lot of people thought when Andrew Luck retired that they're like, this team is doomed. How are they going to be able to perform with Jacoby Brissett? There's no way, but Jacoby Brissett and the whole Colts team were like, don't doubt us, we are still going to be a tough competitor, and they have been. The Broncos have not been, and they are going to be even weaker since they just traded away Emmanuel Sanders, so there's a weapon gone for Joe Flacco. The Texans almost came back against the Colts. They tried. They had a final shot at it in the fourth quarter, but they were not able to do it. So the Colts got the victory. The Colts, I believe, will get the victory this week against a Broncos team that is having a tough season this year. So I think they will beat them 24-16. Saints and Cardinals. Cardinals got the win over the Giants, and Edmonds had the run game going bonkers, which really made me a little bit angry because I have David Johnson, and the fantasy gurus all over were saying Johnson's going to play. He's going to have a huge game. Start him. And then you know what happened? David Johnson rushed one time, and I'm going to play this video right here because it describes perfectly how I felt after that game.
Should have started Chase Edmonds in fantasy. Screw you. Arizona Cardinals Twitter handle should have started Chase Edmonds. No crap. Obviously, you think? So then the Arizona Cardinals Twitter handle at some point says something like, you know, to all the angry fantasy football owners out there, just enjoy the win. Just enjoy the win. No, you know what? Don't you dare. troll us. Screw you!
So yes, Cardinals won, and really it upset a lot of people what they did fantasy-wise, putting Chase Edmonds in basically the entire game and having him destroy when they said they were going to use David Johnson and that he was going to be a huge part of the offense, and he had one rush. That's it. That's it. Anyways, back to reality. Let's get out of fantasy football. Saints and Cardinals. The Saints have performed very well with Teddy Bridgewater, but Drew Brees is coming back. He's coming soon. They might actually start Teddy Bridgewater this week and let Drew Brees go a little bit longer to make sure he's 100% healed up, since he's been doing so well when the team has been performing. I'm talking about Teddy Bridgewater. I didn't know how to twist that to make you guys know I'm talking about Teddy Bridgewater because I was talking about Drew Brees. But once Drew Brees is an elite quarterback, you can't sit him forever, no matter how well Teddy Bridgewater is doing. I don't know though. It's maybe you have that mindset where like, is it good for the team? Do we keep Drew on the bench? Maybe they do it this week, and then they let Drew get one more full week of rest and then let him return. But either way, the Saints have been performing well enough without him. The Cardinals are a young team that don't really have an elite status to them. So I think the Saints will beat the Cardinals 27-17. Panthers and 49ers. Panthers played in a very muddy situation last week. The Mud Bowl, as Richard Sherman called it. He wanted to join in, but he didn't want to get injured. So he avoided the mud in all the mud celebrations. But Panthers were on a bye week, and the 49ers, they beat the Redskins. The 49ers are undefeated. They're the only undefeated team in the NFC, and they've been playing very well, defensively especially. Jimmy Garoppolo, if he can turn it on, if he can really get good here towards the middle of the season and the end of the season, that would be a very scary team to face. So, I think the 49ers got enough weapons, enough talent to really beat almost anyone right now. So, I think the 49ers will beat the Panthers 27-20. Texans and Raiders. Texans lost to the Colts last week, like I mentioned earlier, and the Raiders, they had to deal with Aaron Rodgers going absolutely insane. He had a great game. I will get to him later when we talk about the Packers and their game. But the Texans against the Raiders, I think the Texans are a better football team. The Raiders don't really have anyone that's like huge elite status that can really light the world on fire. The Texans do. They got DeAndre Hopkins. They got an amazing quarterback in Deshaun Watson. They got the best defender, especially on the line in football, J.J. Watt. So I think this Texans team will definitely outperform and beat the Raiders 30-13. Patriots and Browns. Browns were on a bye week last week, and they are probably hoping they're on a bye week this week too. Because the Patriots, after what they did to the Jets, I can't imagine how it's going to go for the Browns. Even with all these weapons that we've mentioned, that they have Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb, he's performing well, so I'm not going to go in on him. But Baker Mayfield and his struggles, but my goodness, it has been tough with all those weapons. You seriously, going into the season, thought that they would perform a lot better, and they haven't. I don't know what's going on. People have said it's the coaching staff. People have said it's Baker Mayfield. So clearly it has not been figured out there in Cleveland, which always seems to be the situation for the Browns. And the Patriots, they got everything working. Their defense, their offense, they got it all, just the gears. They're going, and nothing is missing right now for the Patriots. They look good, they're undefeated, and I think they're going to demolish the Browns 34-10. Packers and Chiefs. Chiefs got a win against the Broncos last week, and the Packers, Aaron Rodgers went absolutely insane, getting himself the first ever perfect passer rating in Packers history, which surprised me, because Aaron Rodgers has been around for a long time, and he's had many good games. None of those apparently were a perfect passer rating. And before him, you had Brett Favre, which apparently in his whole time in Green Bay, never once got a perfect passer rating. I was shocked when I heard about that. This is going to be a good game. Chiefs and Packers. Mahomes, I think, is missing this week, I think, but they performed pretty well without him last week. But that was against the Broncos. This is the Packers, who have Aaron Rodgers. And even though the Packers have their injuries right now, Aaron Rodgers is still performing well. He's still getting the job done. He has that Tom Brady effect where he can still make other receivers or running backs good around him, which we have seen. So I think the Packers, because of the injury to Mahomes, will win this game 30-24. Steelers and Dolphins. The Steelers, they do not have Ben Roethlisberger, but they get their backup back this week. I forgot his name. I really cannot think of his name right now. And the Dolphins, they got veteran quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick leading their team. but he's getting old. That team doesn't have a lot of talent to make up for a lack of a quarterback. And the Steelers, even though they are on their backup quarterback, he's young. He's young and Mason Rudolph. He's young. He's shown that he can get the job done. You got James Conner, who can make up for the fact that this quarterback is not seasoned and a veteran. James Conner is performing very well in Big Ben's injury absence. And then you got Juju Smith-Schuster. So it's a bunch of young guys on the Steelers. On defense too, Devin Bush and then Watt. So it's a young team, but it's a talented team. And against the Dolphins, it should be a very easy win for them. So I'm predicting Pittsburgh to beat Miami 20-10. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for watching Kleschka Picks week number 8. Now, starting now, I mentioned this last week, but after you watch Sunday football, let me know in the comments who you think should be in next week's thumbnail. Who was the top performer that would go in next week's thumbnail? Leave that down below after you watch the Sunday games. Thank you for watching Kleschka Picks. Like the video, subscribe, tell your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, your pets, your friends, your best friend, and everybody you know, and I will see you next time.